And everybody in internet land, I'm not quite 100% ready here, as you can tell. I just hit the live button by accident, so you're going to get a little bit of nonsense here just for a moment. I duly and truly apologize for any inconvenience my complete lack of experience brings. But hopefully, when I gain some experience, I will actually be able to. Hello, Mr. Chantavong. What is going on? So I'm going to screen share. We're going to do some live listing as people pop into the chat. They'll probably make fun of my giant ridiculous hat. I like really ridiculous hats. This one is really ridiculous. I pulled this one out of just, I mean, look at this thing. It makes my head look like a bucket. Anywho, let me see here. So we're going to do some live draft listings from drafts. Have some pretty cool stuff that came back today. Got so we should get that stuff listed. Some of it isn't that great. Some of it is. Some of it is cool. Some of it I need to take another look at. Some of it we need to figure out a little bit of how we get it listed properly. We're going to do some pricing nonsense. Mostly, let's just take a look and see if, you know, the style is relevant. Oh, I'm going to kill you. Brony chat! Brony chat, here, watch. Here's, while I list things on eBay and actually get some work done, you can talk about bronies right here. That's your ticket to Brony land. I got a ticket to Brony land. Okay. I wonder what impression people get about me through my YouTube channel. If you ever saw my YouTube channel, you'd have no idea that in some regard, at least some regard, I was at least partially competent. I'm at least partially competent, I promise. Pretty cool. Total 16. This is like this is something given to an eBay. I mean, a Nike employee. It's a pretty cool book. I probably should keep it myself. I don't know why I gave it to the lister, but I like to list stuff like this with like a ridiculously high price and see if somebody actually wants it. So I'm gonna list it for $29.99 and just keep going. I actually bought it for myself, but it's a moleskin, and moleskins are expensive. You have to be entertaining via text only. That sounds amazing. Oh, you don't have to come on the video. I'm just gonna list. Hopefully, I'm screen sharing right now. Woo! Oh, that's cool. So it should be fun to stay in a hotel downtown. Item specific MPN is missing. You've probably seen that before. I don't know why they need an MPN because no one even knows what an MPN is. Manufacturer's part number? No. But what if the manufacturer is different from like the person? I don't know. That's why I like music with this thing. That way I don't have to talk to somebody else. I can just like do my thing. These hats, I don't know why these ridiculous hats are popular right now. Whenever I find ridiculous hats, I buy them because it seems like ridiculous hats are what is hot. Some hats are hot, and some hats that are ridiculous are even hotter. So there you go. There was a Blazers game tonight. A bunch of people went to that. The hat looks pretty old. I mean, I think I determined it was like from Turkmenistan or something. I don't even remember. It's not. It's a communist country, but maybe somebody can help me out there. It's not Russia. And you can see what the person's name is kind of written in Cyrillic here, it looks like, but it's not the crest of Soviet Russia, though it does have the Soviet star. So that might be integral in making it happen. I cannot remember. Maybe it was Bulgaria. I don't remember. One of those Eastern Bloc small countries. I'm just gonna call it a. Those were part of. It was part of the USSR, but not part of Russia. So USSR is probably the right word. I don't know what to sell this thing for. I don't know. Probably. I don't even care what it's worth. It's been sitting around in a box for a while, so we'll list it for $29.99, and we will move on. Trying to preserve my average sale price. This isn't like a new pickup. This was just in a box of hats. Sometimes I'll just like throw specific item categories into like a case, and then when I send it to the lister, they get a higher efficiency because they're listing things that are of the similar product category or listing category. Really, I want the listers to be able to list very, very quickly so they get their money. They get their money's worth. I get my money's worth. If anybody can help me in the chat with this, she put 1950s, but I don't feel like this is from the 50s. Tech razor, Gillette tech razor. Let's just do an eBay. Do an eBay window. Gillette. Some of this Gillette stuff goes for crazy money. Just so you know, it sounds like it sounds completely ridiculous. It really does. Like, why would anybody? Yeah, the font isn't very 50s, but that doesn't. I mean, even in the 50s, they did throwbacks to other eras. I have to talk to the chat, remember? So if you're not live, your message is coming in slightly later. Anyone's welcome to come in. See, this one says 1940s, and that's what I'm thinking. I mean, I'm thinking it's more from there. It is. It is 1952. This is the same one, but mine looks. See how this is a glossy? It's a glossy. So I wonder if it's a that's the repop of. That's the repop of the real one. Psycho Prison. Ooh. See, because this is a tech razor. It went for about 100. Here's another Regent Tech. I think it's pre-1950. Could be really old. Like I said, see, this one is glossy. See how this one is not glossy? That tells you that this is not the same thing. Hey, Mama J. This is also a live hangout, so this is a live hangout if you want to come in and talk or list or ask some questions or communicate with the crowd. I don't particularly enjoy doing this by myself. Kind of prefer to do it with other people. You could probably look up this patent date and figure it out. It says patent number 2270388. Let's go to Google and see what happens. Friends, patent 2270388. Oh my god, my memory's that bad. 2270388. I have a really bad memory, apparently. Whoa. Ash, receiver, or the like. 2770388. Am I just that dumb? Nope. 2270388. Yeah. If you ever want to look up patents or things like that, right there. 2270388. Patents expire after a certain time. I think they're still kept on record. Ooh, gosh, dang it, 388. 277, 277, Jesus Christ, I'm really bad. Yeah, I'm not that smart. It still doesn't show up. 2270388. Yeah, that's right. 2270388. Anyway, so I believe that this is the original. The other one's like a repop later. The subject matter is pretty cool. The razor's used, but this box is empty. I mean, dang. Kayla, what do you think? Speak loud or forever hold your pieces. I'm going to call it an... Not even spell tonight. Antique sexy boy. What do you think? No, I'm just kidding. Antique barber hot shave Gillette Tech razor and original rocks. I hate the word and original box. Blue. What were the name of the razors? They were called like Blue Blades. Blue Blades. Hi, Chick Picker. Hi, everybody. I know I'm really boring. I'm just kind of showing you guys what I sell and kind of, though I may not give you an idea of what I paid for it. My average item cost is about $7. These are contractor drafts, if you're familiar. So I supply a contractor with a couple of supplies, one of them being a light cube. Really, if I'm paying for drafts, I really want to pay for amazing drafts. You can see that's a great first image, and this may actually be a better first image because it really shows the contents along with the item. Now, I don't pay a ton of attention to this stuff. You know, I'm not the most meticulous person. I'm more of a business builder than anything else, but you know, I do like doing this, and I do like finding interesting things. I don't always know what the best things are, but I do a lot of experiments, and I try to capitalize on market gaps when they're available. Just so everybody knows, this is an open forum. You're welcome to come in, discuss the things I'm talking about. We can screen share. We can talk about any kind of issues you guys want to talk about. Anytime I talk about business, it helps me grow my business, so I really like it. If you've never been on the internet before, you do not wish to be, that's perfectly fine. As well, you can sit here and watch me list this for $99.99. I have no idea if that's a good price. I think it is for what I paid for it. If I get that price, that would be very, very nice. I'm very happy with that. The purpose of this show is kind of to integrate a social aspect with a listing aspect. These are really cool. I mean, these are getting harder to find and more popular. I have no idea why. I mean, tapes weren't even a good form of media when they were available. If you could just have a record player, that would be much better. But you know, CDs are just so much better than cassette tapes, I think. I don't know why things become trendy, but tape decks are really killing it, dudes. If you look at solds and tape decks on eBay, you will notice that they're going crazy. I mean, the average sale price isn't ridiculous, but you can get them so inexpensively and they sell so fast. It actually makes a lot of financial sense to sell these things. They really are easy to pack, too. They ship first class. This is a TS210. This lister doesn't do pricing. So one does pricing and the other doesn't, and that's kind of how I know the difference between the two. I don't know what's going on over here. See if I can find. Oh, I was just looking at one. And looks like they sell for about $20. Some, you know, you got hits and misses. I don't know. I'm gonna ask like fixed price. I always do fixed price. Good till canceled. Some people do 30 days and keep relisting their stuff. I don't mess around with that stuff. It seems like way too much work for me. Really like it. Go first class, it'll cost around $3 to ship. Anyway, that average sale price doesn't make me happy. Doesn't make me happy, so it makes me think, I gotta kind of relook at the whole deal. Got some vintage Leathermans. These are great. If you get the right ones with the right patent dates, these are highly collectible. If you're in Portland, obviously easier to find. These are made in Portland initially. Portland was an amazing manufacturing town, and the outskirts. I mean, now nothing is really made in Portland except for like ice cream, and that's flavored like fishing hooks. And I don't buy stuff on eBay. Just come on, just put a hat on and ask your questions live. Come on. I don't want to answer questions from the chat. Just come and hang out. Really, it's really easy. That was a crack. Anyway, so these can be really great. Small to ship. I'm really focusing, and I always have been, on things that are easier to ship. I really hate going through the process of dealing with abnormal items. When I have a little bit more space here in the new shop, if something, gosh dang it, my mouse is acting up. If something is profitable, I'm likely to buy it at this point, just because my inventory is actually kind of low right now. You know, I have $100,000 in inventory right now, but is a little bit low for what I really want. I wanted to have double that. It's kind of cool. She went through, and my drafter went through and made this look really good. It's hard to contrast with this silver, this chrome on the white background, but it seems okay. I would take one of these pictures and make them first, so you can kind of see the whole dealie. This is unused. Doesn't look new, but it is new. I guess it's not new because it's old. But these really go for, these go for $75 pretty easy. If you're on the treadmill, that's pretty amazing. I should be on the treadmill more. I really need to get on the treadmill. I don't have, my fitness level isn't bad, but it also isn't good. Like, it could be exceptional. When I moved to the new office, there's a gym right around the corner, so I try to use the gym to get my brain working back 100%. This is a Korg tuner. I don't know why it's here. Probably pulled it out of some corner or something. I like average sale prices that are above $40. It can be really hard to maintain thousands of items at that price. I'm trying to figure out new avenues to product acquisition. If you've been following me on any sort of media, you'll know kind of opening up a reverse shop where we don't really sell stuff, we just buy stuff. We'll see how that works. We may not, I mean, we'll do some consignment as well. I think consignment really works well with this model. I set up an alternate space for possible consignment. I'm into it. I'm into making money with this wave of secondhand products that are just flooding into the market right now. And I feel like I've been doing this for a long time, and I really haven't seen, musical instruments made from certain types of wood may be restricted for import from the U.S. under the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, CITES. If the instrument you are listing contains wood, you should check the CITES database to determine any restriction on the international sale of such products and ensure your listing complies with those requirements. What? Let's check the CITES species database. If anybody, I'm a scientist, and I was before. I will be my entire life. I just don't, like, conventional science is different than my idea of science, so I can't work in See if there's any species named poop. If you look up the word poop, you find agraisum or agriasum, angrasum. See, it's angra. I don't think the E. I think the E is silent. It's angrasum or angricum. It might like. There's some weird things about Latin, like the EC is like a C sound sometimes, so it could be like angracum. Paucirmosum. Oh my god, that's a tough one. I think it's Angracum paucirmosum. It doesn't say much about it. Apparently, it's in the orchid family, and for some reason, it comes up when you look for poop. Let's look up tiger. Let's see what happens if I look up tiger. We have Panthera tigris, which I think is the actual tiger. Here you go, tiger. You have Leopardus tigrinus. Let's check that one out. Is that? Show me a picture. Oh, Argentina. Interesting. So that's the I think they call it it's like an ocelot or whatever. I think that's an ocelot. Then we have Panthera tigris altaica puma concolor. Whoa, interesting. It's supposed to tell me about the species and why you can't. It doesn't say anything. Suspensions. The export of live specimens, parts, and derivatives. Oh, the country is Argentina. You cannot trade. You cannot send puma parts to Argentina. So this is telling you the whole international thing. That's interesting. So obviously, like the elephant is the big one. If you're trying to sell or you're selling elephant ivory, don't do that. It's stupid. It's illegal. You can't sell ivory across state lines in the United States anymore. It's a federal crime to sell any ivory across state lines. Obama changed the law, I guess. Oh, okay. Let's look at so raw ivory is banned. Look at all the countries. Like before, it was one country. So you can't import, I guess. You can't import raw ivory into Bangladesh, Bhutan, Cambodia, China, India, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia. Oh, it's like two different countries. Raw ivory into Peninsular Malaysia or raw ivory into Sabah and Sarawak. Myanmar, for me, Myanmar is Burma, obviously. Nepal, Sri Lanka, Vietnam. That's funny. China has suspended their CITES notification. I guess they want to import more ivory. I don't know how CITES works, but that's pretty funny that they came up. Whenever those come up, I like to look at them being a scientist. I don't know. I just wouldn't buy ivory at all. It came from the massacre of an entire race of animals. Oh, I just got a return on eBay. That's amazing. Oh my gosh. Killing me. Killing me. Somebody wants to return my item. Let's take a look at what it is. Shut up. I'm going to pause this video to look at what is going on. Oh, camera. What? What's wrong with the camera? I know it works because I tested it. It has a purple defect. Product does not seem to be damaged from shipping. Apparently a camera. Yuck, that was like $100. Annoying. Anyway, so sometimes I buy tools if I just want to learn about them. I know that cutting tools are worth a lot of money, and these are not cutting tools. These are all. That's funny. I could actually use a bunch of these, so I'm actually going to keep this. Came in a bag of like cutting tools, and I thought they might be cutting tools, but these are actually really well made. These are really well made screw Phillips head bits and flathead bits. So I'm gonna keep all of these. So we're not gonna sell those. Boop. We're gonna keep those. I just paid $2 extra. Here is something cool. I like this because it's got the Trek, it's got the Volkswagen, it's got Nike, AMD, which is really funny because it's the rival to Intel. Awesome Volkswagen logos. It says Portland, Oregon. This is kind of a sick piece. Bike Gallery is like a big name here. Doesn't have anybody's name on it or anything. I like how it has the water bottle bag in the back. It's made by Nike in the United States. How sick is that? You know that this is ultra high quality, and this was owned by a sponsored athlete. Anybody's comment on that? Don't you think this was owned by a sponsored athlete, especially if it has all these names on it, and it was made in the United States by Nike? Nike doesn't make that much stuff in the United States. They have like, I know they have 2 custom factories, but they're just for like custom orders. So that is really awesome. We have measurements like we always do in clothing. Like I said, she doesn't put pricing in. I have no idea what the price is set. I'm gonna price it high, $129.99. And I don't like money enough as like the ivory thing. I don't like money as much as I don't like ivory. So I don't want to trade money for ivory. I actually have some pieces of ivory that I rescued that probably would have gotten thrown out. But I wouldn't attempt to sell those pieces of ivory. I can show you guys some ancient ivory pieces from, 2,000 to 3,000 years ago that I have here. It's like fossilized mammoth tusk, which is pretty cool. So the fossilized tusk, not as much of a big poop fest, I guess, but still, I don't think the ivory. I think the ivory trade funds domestic wars. It's responsible for famine and all kinds of other things. Obviously, the suffering of the animals. I generally, because I'm kind of a humanist, I understand like the suffering of animals and all that kind of stuff, and I don't want animals to suffer. I don't want anything to suffer, but I always put people, because I'm a person, for some reason I put people, the needs of people above the needs of anything else. But yeah, that's cool. I mean, that's different than like, Kayla says she has a huge piece of ivory. Her husband is an Alaskan Native, and it came from his family's tribe. Well, yeah, that's like art, and it's real, and it's not like dudes with AK-47s gunning down elephants to sell the ivory to make money to fund wars where they like enslave people and kill people. I don't even want to talk about that shit. But it exists. We live in a world that still has slaves, and we got to fix that shit. We all have to fix that. The world isn't going to be awesome until there's no more slaves. Let's get rid of the slaves. This is pretty awesome. This is old school as can be. I think this stuff's really, really in fashion right now. As far as I know, so sick. Guess long sleeve. I mean, her description, I would say rainbow hipster. Rainbow hipster. Is it an XL? It's an XL. I love this. I would have kept this if it was a large, but I'm just a small guy. I'm tall, but I'm not chunky, so I can't. Extra larges are too big for me. Not a Mr. Chunky. Such a cool Tron. Let's add the word Tron. Tron. BTG. BTG. Yes, long sleeve, rainbow, hisper. I think it's supposed to be hipster. if anybody knows me at all, they know I type with like one finger. I've been using computers since I was 4 or 5. So I've never really had to type fast because anytime anybody's given me a job that I had to type fast at, it sucked. So I probably quit anyway. So I'm not. I don't. Typing fast to me is not very important. Everybody taught me that I should be able to type fast, but I'm not a secretary, so I don't give a shit how fast I type. Oh, item specifics. Let's see if she messed up the item specifics. She just didn't put an extra large. Theme. Poop. Anybody see that? The theme is poop. Oh, we only have 5. Got 5 viewers. Got 5 viewers in the chat. I appreciate everybody. I wish somebody would just come in, hang out, because I'm doing this to connect. Show everybody kind of what I'm buying and selling. I don't really show what I sell as much as I show what I buy, if you've noticed. This light setup isn't optimum. There's wrinkles and stuff in the back, but I still think it highlights the item pretty good. There's not a lot of distractions. If you use some kind of computer to figure out what this thing was, I think you could easily do it. And the white background thing that everybody's been hearing about is more a neutral background than a white background, as far as I understand. As long as your item can be distinguished by AI, it's more likely that somebody will find it using AI. And if somebody finds your item using AI, they're probably more likely to pay more for it because it's something specifically that they saw that they're looking for. I like zip-up hoodies. I just like them personally. So I just have a bunch of them here, and this one's a size large. And I think this thing is fresh, like ultra fresh. Look how fresh that is. Can everybody in the chat just say fresh if you think this is fresh with a PH like this? Fresh. Okay. Really, really, really cool. Tie-dye. Okay, that's cool. I got that. Fresh to death. It's just a raw piece of ivory that you can beat somebody in the head with. Ivory is hard. So if people don't know, ivory was used to make pool balls. And the guy who invented celluloid, which is like one of the first pseudoplastics, plastic was basically invented because the guy was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? People kill elephants to make these pool balls. Pool is stupid if you compare it to elephants. Elephants are fucking awesome, and pool is ridiculously dumb if you're comparing them. Like, you can make pool balls out of anything. You can make pool tables out of anything. You can't make elephants out of anything. There's only a certain number of elephants." So whoever that dude was, do you guys want to do real-time research? Fresh. Okay. Pool balls elephant. There you go. Let's read about it. Ooh. See if we can see a story. Elephant. Meh. Let's do celluloid. Celluloid pool balls. Elephant. The billiard ball. Okay. La 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 la. Early balls were made of various materials, including wood and clay. Although affordable ox bone balls were in common use in Europe, elephant ivory was favored since at least 1627 until the earliest 20th centuries. The earliest known written reference to ivory billiard balls is in the 1588 inventory of the Duke of Norfolk. Okay. The billiard, this is crazy, right? This is some things I say you might think I'm making them up, but I'm really not. My brain doesn't work like normal people. By the end of the mid-19th century, elephants were being slaughtered for their ivory at an alarming rate just to keep up with the demand for high-end billiard balls. No more than 8 balls could be made from a single elephant's tusk. The billiard industry realized that the supply of elephants was endangered. This is in the mid-19th century, so the mid-1800s, right? As well as dangerous to obtain, the latter an issue of notable concern at the turn of the 19th century. Inventors were challenged to come up with an alternative material that could be manufactured, with a $10,000 prize being offered by a New York supplier, Phelan and Calander. You can read about Phelan and Calander. So adjusted for inflation, that's $180,000, which is still pretty awesome prize. Although not the first artificial substance to be used for the balls, sorrel cement, invented in 1867. Let's read about sorrel cement. The cement mixture of magnesium oxide with magnesium chloride with the appropriate chemical formula Mg4Cl2OH corresponding to a weight ratio of 2.5 to 3 parts magnesium oxide to 1 part magnesium chloride. A variant uses zinc oxide with zinc chloride, blah, blah, blah. Very interesting. So basically, it's used for grindstones, tiles, artificial stones. It probably does some kind of heated chemical reaction that makes it bond strongly. It says it can withstand 10,000 psi roughly, and Portland cement, which is like your standard like concrete that you think about, is about 7,000. So it seems like it's pretty strong. The sorrel cement. Anyway, so they went on to use nitrocellulose, but obviously it just breaks and cracks and all that sort of stuff. By 1870, it was commercially branded celluloid, the first industrial plastic, which is nitrocellulose. Unfortunately, the nature of celluloid made it volatile in production, occasionally exploding, which made this early plastic impractical. Urban legend has it that celluloid balls themselves would occasionally explode during rough play, but no reliable sources have been found that could substantiate this. Consequently, to avoid the problem of celluloid instability, the industry experimented with various other synthetic materials for billiard balls, such as bakelite, crystallite, and other plastic compounds. Most of us probably know what bakelite is. Crystallite is polymethyl methacrylate. It sounds really bad. It sounds like something that gives you cancer. PMMA. Ooh. Ooh. Whoa. Dude, check that out. That's the diagram of electricity passing through this this plastic. High voltage dielectric breakdown in acrylic polymer block. I want to do that. Can we all get together and have a acrylic polymer block party? That would be a lot of fun. Hi there.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going well. How are you? I'm going to stop screen sharing. So part of the show, if I don't have somebody to aggravate, is I just go through listings.
I was like, am I at a boring lecture? I mean, it was an awesome lecture, but
So you had to interrupt. So my brain just goes into these like tangent spaces sometimes, and I feel like I should explore those, right?
Yeah, go for it. So
What
what exactly were you talking about there?
Oh, did you come in late? So
yeah, about 5 seconds ago.
Oh, okay. So we were talking about ivory. In the chat. I don't know if you're looking at the chat, but we were talking about ivory and some other things. And the reason celluloid was invented, or plastic, early plastic, is because like 80% of the world's pool balls were made of elephant tusks, and in 1850 the elephants started to disappear, and they gave a $10,000 prize in New York City to develop something that could replace them, because there was nothing that was. Oh, the guest. I need to introduce the guest. Guest, introduce yourself. He wasn't a guest. He's just a pop-on. That's you.
Yeah. Sorry, I just froze up for a second. No, I wish I was still in my office because I had some ivory there. Because I do, my main thing is shipping, and it's one of the things that gets stopped at customs a lot is ivory, jade, ivory, because these guys buy at auction houses. Because that's what I do. I pick up at auction houses.
Oh, do you actually buy? Okay, we got to stop for a second. I'm gonna let you tell everybody who you are.
Okay, if my internet connection, which is horrible, I know, but I guess I'm Mo Fremont on Facebook, I guess, and Reseller Niche on YouTube, which probably nobody knows either one of those, but that's cool. But and yeah, I'm just a regular eBay, Amazon reseller.
Not just. You're an eBay and Amazon reseller. You got some knowledge. Like we were talking before on Instagram, you have experience, definitely. Your experience with figuring out how to sell things on the internet and how to like optimize. Sounds like you were kind of trying to optimize your time and your money right now. Yeah.
And trying to get away, because I go rabbit holes too. So that's why I kind of have like 50 different things I do at the same time.
Yeah.
Actually, what I'm trying to get from is I used to have like a full-time retail like shipping store. So that's kind of how I fell into eBay, because I saw these people dropping off Amazon packages, eBay packages. And then, so I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool. Back in the day, I'd sell tickets. That's about it. I never sold hard goods, though. That's only the last couple of years.
How long did you do the shipping store thing, and like why?
Oh, wow. I was in IT. I was on contract. It kind of sucked because I had these 1-year rotating contracts, and then I saw a store go up for sale in my city, and I was like, okay, this is cool. And it kind of worked out. And I kind of fell into it. It's not something I love shipping. I actually hate shipping. That's the one thing I've hired somebody out for, is to do the shipping and the packaging. So, but yeah, so I kind of fell into that. I don't really do it now. I kind of have like a little office where I have that I just kind of held on to. That's about it.
Wait, so the business, I'm confused by that. Do you still own the shipping business or no?
No, it was a franchise. The contract expired and I did not continue it. So It's not like a UPS store. It's kind of like an independent franchise type thing.
Yeah,
so it expired, and don't ever sign anything, ever.
Never sign anything. If you can never sign anything ever in anything ever, don't ever sign anything.
No. And it was like a 10-year contract, and then at the end they said, "Oh, here's another 15-year thing," and I said, "No, that's okay."
Yeah, I mean, franchises can still bring value, but the market is different than when the franchise kind of came about. So
yeah,
I was involved in a franchise kind of business. It was a startup and a franchise in a way, but I just don't like the word franchise. It alienates you from the business. Like I want to be a business owner.
Exactly. And then they pigeonhole you into X, Y, and Z. I mean, I don't want to say it's bad. I mean, there's some that are great, but that business model was just bad.
If I'm running a business, I want to be able to be. I want to be the guy who makes the decision what the logo looks like. I was telling somebody, they were like, "Well, what's your role at the company? You're an owner, but you're not, and you're this and you're that." And I basically said, "I'm not the guy who decides what the logo looks like." That's when I like in building this business, it's like I'm trying to build a business that I understand, own, and have built from the ground up.
Yeah, I couldn't do that at all. It's like buy from this box supplier, buy from this paper company, use these XYZ shippers, and then
they're making a 3-4% cut with nothing.
That they say they don't do. But
they always are. Well, I could go down the rocky road of franchise operations, but I would never be. I mean, if I own the company being franchised, I'm okay.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
Exactly.
But I would want to bring like massive value. It would only be a venture that would be like, you need to be a special person to do it. You're going to work hard, but you're going to make everything that you put into it. And you need like, I think in a franchise okay. So in today's business world, you hear everybody use the word pivot. And like we were talking about how we both pivoted, and we both pivoted about the same time. So that was kind of cool because we were both seeing the same things on Amazon. We were both doing a lot of business on Amazon, and we've both pivoted away from that in order to make other models within our little umbrella more successful, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So
I actually I got stuck with that.
Pivot. You can't pivot as a franchise.
No, actually, basically, I think I started probably in 04, 05, around there. Within 2 years, two huge things happened. One, UPS store came out, and then two, FedEx bought Kinko's. So that killed the industry, that industry that we're in, and I couldn't go anywhere. My hands were tied.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can understand that in a lot of ways because it's really funny how parallel I believe in certain things, and I'm not a guy who makes excuses. Like I see what is happening and I try to adjust to it instead of making excuses, and that's why I'm still running my own business now. Like my pivot out of Delivery Dudes, which was the franchise that I was dealing with, the startup. I started a delivery company for somebody else in the town that they didn't have deliveries for, and I could have just done it myself. But I don't even like the model. The only reason I did it was because I thought that it could be successful using their platform, but really their platform sucked. Honestly, it did. Like I just basically built a business for them for free. Instead of like doing my own thing. Yeah, that was pretty awesome. So what happened? So you were saying being. Let me go. Where was I going? So I was totally stuck. So when we started, the market was like open. We had one competitor who was terrible. It was a company called Delivered Dish here in Portland. They're in a couple of other cities too. They actually sold to Grubhub, so they don't exist anymore. They're just a subsidiary of Grubhub now. I wish we were a little bit earlier and we got bought by Grubhub. That would have been awesome. But I couldn't have sold it to Grubhub even if they wanted it because it wasn't my business, right?
Gotcha.
So what happened is when we started the first year, we had explosive growth. We were working hard. We were getting commitments from restaurants. Portland's not a delivery town. No one had done delivery before. We were pioneers in Portland in like this type of delivery. Within 6 months of no, that's wrong. About 18 months in, Caviar launched, and then because Caviar launched, there's a huge fight between Postmates and Caviar. So wherever Caviar launches, Postmates launch. So we got Caviar, then we got Postmates. Then there's a quarrel between like Postmates and Grubhub, apparently. So you learn about all these things in the industry. So then Grubhub launched, and they soft launched like this other one that they own, like Seamless. Then Amazon came along, and then Uber. And I will tell you, like, as far I've tested all the services out, and it's like Uber is honestly the logistically the best. I don't like them just because I just don't like those business models. I don't like the big Amazon guy. I don't like the big Uber guy. I just don't like the big guy. I'm the small guy, and I like I'd rather have a lot of small guys than a couple big guys. That's, for me, that's how we protect our economy, and that's why Portland has a strong economy. But yeah, so all those companies dropped, and like our customer acquisition cost was like, we figured it was about $7.
Wow, that's not bad.
It's cheap. So by the time I left, it was kind of like, you're not going to believe me, but it's really true, $70.
Oh, it makes sense. Because when an industry starts out, it's next to nothing. Once people jump on, that's when prices go up. So
Yeah, but I mean, I had no assistance from the company. I reached out so many times. I'm like, listen, guys, I'm trying to fight this out. I am delivering orders myself. I need help. I didn't even get a call back from the main company who was supposed to be there, like, supporting me. So
Yeah.
I did it because I thought I had supported the company, and I didn't. And if anybody from Delivery Dudes sees this, you can totally call me, because even since I quit working, so I was running multiple like territories, and like I just disappeared, and
Yeah.
no one from the main company has even called me. That was a year and 2 months ago. I'm a
I totally know how that is.
franchisee, dude. I'm a franchisee, like one of the only two on the West Coast. I disappear, and no one even calls my telephone.
I can kind of see that, because there was a buddy of mine that had a franchise. He was out of New Jersey, and he was brand new. He was a young guy too. He was like 22, something like that. And he hit the road really hard. He was doing like $1 million plus first year, which was pretty good for this type of business, because you don't really make that much.
Yeah.
And within, I want to say, a year, he told me, I'm quitting. I said, what do you mean you're quitting? You're under contract. You can't quit. He's all, no, I'm going back to Australia. That's where he's from. And let them try and find me. And he did. Within 2 months, he shut up shop. And that was it.
Wow.
So, I mean, yeah. So I know my point to that was that I know how it is to be completely left out in the dark by the main guys. Just kind of, okay, goodbye.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of wanted the community of building like something that was way bigger than myself, but it was really just me working by myself. And then I had another partner in the network, and he went back to the main company to work, and like it was just I basically got abandoned by those dudes, and I'm not resentful, because I walked into the situation. Like, I do feel like the outcome could have been so much more victorious with a little bit of cooperation. So, and I couldn't build that cooperation, but as the leader of my own thing, I can bring conversation, communication, cooperation, community involvement. You know, I can bring a lot of things. And maybe I'm not good at all of those things, but my intention is to figure out how to use the market that I'm in to just drive more value, you know, just make it so that the money stays in our community in a certain way. Like all of it's coming back.
Yeah.
You know, we'll be selling it on the internet, but I'm not a CEO that makes $2 million a year or anything like that. I'm looking to provide jobs for people and provide a place for people to get money for the things that they're selling, like fairly. It is fun to buy things cheap, though.
Yeah. Well, I was in the other end. I was never buying anything other than like cardboard boxes. So,
yeah. Well, I mean,
a lot more interesting.
So when you were running this postal business, how many hours a week were you working?
I mean, it was basically 9 to 5 plus, say, 4 hours on Saturday.
Were you like the manager?
So it was mine. So, I mean, I was everything. I was a janitor, manager, owner, operator.
Did you have
everything?
Employees?
I did. I mean, but our business was so slow that it was only basically when I was doing pickups. And those are few and far between, especially at the end. There's another thing that really annoyed me is that every time you're supposed to have territories, you know, each franchise, you know, you're in this city or you're in that county or whatever. They seem to let the guys that have been there 20, 30 years kind of drift. And when you complain about it, they're like, oh, you should probably contact that franchisee or whatever. And I'm sure they'll be they didn't know they were encroaching.
A turf war. Because it's
yeah,
about
I mean, and then I'd get calls every now and then saying, oh, you know, I usually cover this auction, or I usually cover this city. You know, you don't have to worry about it or something like that. I mean, so, and this isn't like a franchise that's in every city. It's probably like once 150 in the country.
Okay.
It was just unorganized in that sense. Very frustrating, especially when you find new business.
Yeah. I mean, it's a commodity business, right? So
Yeah,
anybody could come along and open one across the street from you.
exactly.
So
And
I don't like that. I just don't generally like that type of business. I want to have like the ability to have a unique product flow. I mean, right now I sell like vintage because it is unique, but that doesn't
yeah,
mean you couldn't adapt another model. I also don't. I mean, I'm like a Portland hippie kind of guy in a way. Like I'm like a capitalist hippie. So I don't like to make new stuff, but I like to figure out how you can make the most amount on the stuff that's already there. It's just like I don't feel like any more production is required in certain categories. So if I can bring that production that has, basically maximum appreciation and bring it back to the market at its full price, that's kind of like my market gap. But I mean, that takes work, right? That's what people don't understand, I think. It's not just going to fall in front of your face when you're doing this. You have to understand the market that you're in, understand how to source products, understand how to value products, understand how trends change. It's a real job. It's not just you going and like going to Goodwill for 5 seconds and finding $100.
exactly,
It's not
exactly.
going to
And
happen that way. It's
what I
never.
like about it too is that it's not wait. Business I was in before is very wait and see. Kind of like, okay, you just kind of throw your name out there, and then hopefully somebody will come in. That was really really annoying too, because I'm not really. I felt like I was just sitting around.
Yeah, so you're motivated by production and making your life better, and instead of making your life better, you're sitting in a room with a computer doing nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah, that sucks. And you
yeah,
can't drive. I mean, you're not going to invest. You can only invest so much in driving that business because in the end, you're just advertising for their business too. I don't.
basically, yeah.
Yeah,
Because I remember I tried to kind of add different parts, different segments, and they said no, you can't do that. That's not part of our business model. The problem was technically, legally, it wasn't. It's all in their contract, which really sucked.
yeah. A lot of contracts are not enforceable, by the way.
I found that out after the fact.
In
And
space.
I took too much at their word.
Oh yeah, I did the same thing too. But I'm a trustworthy and honest person, so
Yeah,
and I believe that, and I take that to my existence. Like I'm not the most successful guy that ever existed, but I'm more successful than other people, and I'm less successful than other people. But for me, like it's a mixture of like the success over your ego, the success over your time, the success over like where you started. It's all a mixture of like all of that thing. And in the end, like every day I'm trying to get a little bit better. It's not all about money for me per se, you know. But
yeah,
I do the money part of it to me is the freedom aspect. For me, money is freedom.
yeah, exactly. I think that's why most of us are in this um,
I'm not even if I had a
reselling
million
thing, whatever
dollars
you
in the
want to call
bank.
it.
If I had $1 million in the bank, which I do not, if I had $1 million in the bank, I still wouldn't be throwing around money. Like I would still probably spend money the way I do now, because
I, yeah,
part of
I'm
my
with you.
lifestyle and life is that I live in a way. I'm not particularly frugal. I like really good food. I like really good nutrition. I'm not really into physical things, so a lot of the stuff I wear is like from thrift stores, high quality stuff that was secondhand. My car is old, but it's reliable, like Toyota Corolla. And I have that because that's what I like. Actually, it's what I like to drive. It's not like if I don't think I'd buy a Ferrari even if I could, and it's not because it's a Ferrari. It's just because I just don't. It's just not part of my. I would rather go live in a foreign country for a year and figure out how to help them do something. Or like
Yeah, I
go for
agree.
work with
I think more and more people are kind of moving that way too.
I just don't the material wealth side of things. I mean, that's why the average item I sell is like 40, $45. Anybody can afford anything I sell, and I try to bring like uniqueness to the market because people do. I understand the need and desire for unique and interesting things. I think it's it's part of the soul of humanity in a certain way. We like style. We like to have our identity and all that kind of stuff, and it's important. It doesn't have to come at the expense of everything else, though, like the air and the water and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
So I feel like every time I sell something, it actually makes it so they don't have to make another one.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
I'm new here. I feel like I'm weird. I feel kind of weird because I feel like a little kid in my first Google Hangout again.
Okay, that's okay. I am going to stop screen sharing and say hello. Who's live now with us?
I'm Jessica, but I go by Mama J.
Hi, Jessica. How are you?
I'm lovely. How are you?
I am wonderful. This is Mo, right?
Well,
Hi, Mo.
we're all strangers. Howdy.
Mo's in the Bay Area. He's an Amazon and eBay seller. And what are you? Are you an eBay and Amazon seller as well?
I am Kansas, and I am eBay, merch, and I dabble in some other things, but that's my two big ones.
That's cool. So I started my merch account, didn't put anything up, and then they told me I couldn't sell. I reapplied, and now they told me I can sell again, but they're like I can't upload designs right now. So I'm waiting to get.
Keep checking back.
Yeah, I'm checking every day. But Mo, are you selling on merch?
A little. I mean, I do as much as I can just to keep it going. I probably do. I think I have like 170 shirts up, which compared to a lot of people is not much. But I don't. I'm not a graphic designer or anything like that. Everything I do is like text only. Yeah, how's it going?
Just
stuff like that.
Oh yeah, I do text.
So,
I'm all about that.
Yeah, that's all.
But I mean, I hope to like build up from that. Like I hope to eventually, I don't know, one day I'll do graphic designing, I guess. I just got to play with it more, and my eBay's consuming my life right now, so.
So it's Jessica, right?
Right.
Okay, Jessica, how many designs do you have on merch?
No, I only have a couple. Like I'm not that. He's got me out of here. I have like 5.
It doesn't matter. I don't have any.
Yeah, no, he just blew me out of the park. No, but I do mainly eBay, but merch I just started, and that's like I would love to be bigger in merch.
Awesome.
So.
Are you growing? Are you currently trying to grow your eBay business as well? Or are you kind of maintaining it?
I'm at a plateau right now because I'm stuck in between the premium and anchor store.
Okay.
Same here.
I'm like, I need a middle store because I have almost 1,600 listings. And so I'm like.
So think about it this way. Like, that's not a barrier for you to get there. You just need to get there. And maybe you need to get there faster. But, like, really the cost of getting there I don't think is as important as actually getting there. It costs you a little bit more to get there because the stores aren't congruent. Just get
right.
You know what I'm saying? Just get there. Like I generally maintain an inventory of like 2,000 items, but here in the fourth quarter, like stuff that's just like all these random games behind me. Like
yeah.
Normally I'm selling like 1 of those a week, and now I'm selling 4 to 5 of those a week. So my shelf is actually my shelves are getting empty. My throughput has gone up, 30-40% in the last month. And I'm moving, so I haven't had the time to source as in such a concentrated manner. Here I don't have a problem with sourcing. Like I can go out any day and find stuff. I don't know is it like that in Kansas City?
Oh yeah, we have a bin, and we have I have a little like tidy hole. And it's like $0.25 an item, so I'm pretty much set. Like I can get stuff.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah, it's awesome.
You can get stuff. See, for me, I'm not into like.
I can get decent stuff.
Okay, cool. So my average sale price is about $45, and I really feel like that's kind of high in the low end on eBay. I think people come on eBay to spend $20 to $50.
Yeah,
That's a good range.
mine's
25 bucks is good.
more like 20. So I'm working my way up there, but like I just went full time. So
Got it.
I'm still like, and I've only actually been selling since March, the end of March and April.
So that's not.
I busted, but I mean, I built it fast. So
That's really fast.
That is.
yeah, I mean, I've been
really
working my butt off. So
That's good. Well, congratulations. I mean, it's not. You really have to be realistic with yourself, and you really don't know what your capabilities really are in the beginning. You don't know what your capacities are. You don't know. I mean, I'm constantly discovering things that I'm just making excuses about that are so easy to overcome. Like, I'm constantly doing it still. And I feel like in the last year, I've just broken walls down between like me and goals that I didn't even see existed. But that's only by like actually doing it, like you're doing it, you know? Like, really. So like Thomas Edison was like, success is 10%, 10% inspiration, 90% perspiration. I think that's like so the truth. Your idea doesn't have to be that good. You just have to be willing to figure out how to make it awesome, and that takes work, right?
Yeah.
yeah. And it's just human nature.
I'm kind of in that same area too, like the pre-anchor. I'm not sure when it's a good time to jump to an anchor store or not. I don't have 16. I only have about 1,100 items or so. But
I mean, your store level doesn't really matter as much as like whether you're growing and you're satisfied with the levels and you're figuring out like what you actually want to do next. You know, I think that's really more important than I mean, eBay store levels. What's really important is your business.
Yeah.
You know. So I mean, I already know to get to where I want to go. There's no way I can just buy from Goodwills and estate sales and stuff. I need people to actually pick what they want to sell and bring it to me. And I'm trying to build a way for people in the community that I'm in to say, I was going to either donate this stuff or sell it or do whatever, garage sale it, to bring it in, get a fair market price for it, and us be able to sell it both through buying it directly and through like consignment. It seems like even though I was really opposed to a consignment model before, you don't need capital, right? So it doesn't require more capital to like adopt that model. So I may try it. I don't know.
Yeah, you don't really need capital, but you definitely need storage. So
I have that. So that's what I do.
I mean, yeah, if you have that, then run with it.
Yeah, we can see, because I can initially just maybe pick the things that we want to consign versus the things that we want to buy, or that kind of. I'm not 100% sure. I know I have to like experiment and see a little bit, but when you have like when you're opening your business to the public in that fashion, like I'm about to, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. We're gonna see.
Yeah, that is interesting. I've never really liked the consignment idea.
I don't like it either, because I like to own my.
But I'm not saying that what you're doing is wrong either. I mean, I think that could be awesome too. I don't know. I just don't want to take other people's crap. I'm like, I have enough of my own crap.
Well, yeah. I mean, if it's so.
But I guess if it's good stuff and you can like get an abundance of it, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, let me give you a little bit of context on this whole thing too, just so you can kind of, if you haven't. So on social media, on Instagram, I've been posting images of the building and kind of how it's going to be structured. But so it's a central point where anything can be. You can bring almost anything that can fit through this steel doorway. You bring it in. We have the ability to photograph it, inventory it, and shelve it. Right? By inventory, I mean put it on the internet with a price and a way to buy it.
Oh.
So if I come in from an estate sale, I can drop stuff off there. They can do that. If you went to an estate sale and you don't have the platform to sell it, but you got some amazing things, You could bring those things in, and we could consign them and sell them for you and take a price. Maybe you'd still make money on it. Maybe you have maybe somebody in the family passed away or moved away, and you have a whole house full of stuff. Come and talk to us. We'll figure out how to get it on the internet and get a fair price for it. I think like having a fair and equitable trading system is good. I hate pawn shops. They're dirty, they're gross, and I just won't walk into one. Not even to buy stuff. I dislike them that much that I won't even walk in.
I don't think they're priced right anymore, honestly, to even.
I don't think they understand the market, but beyond that, they're gross.
Well, yeah.
Here, anyway, here in Portland, they're really, I mean.
Ours are decent.
Like the guy behind the counter was like smoking a cigarette.
You don't really have them over here.
Like that, but
You have them. You just don't see them because they're like my place. They're more secretive. They're boutiques and these kind of things. They exist. Like this type of credit is like the oldest type of credit. So
yeah.
it's everywhere. It's just called something else. There's one on Wilshire Boulevard in LA. It's called the Dina Collection. It's a pawn shop.
Oh my gosh. That sounds terrible.
I mean, the biggest stars trust the guy.
Yeah, well,
because
that'd be.
Provides value.
But I see what you're doing. I think that's a sweet concept.
There is a really, really cool consignment store in San Jose. I like going there just to look around. It's called the Time Tunnel. If you go online, you can see them actually. Their
Time
only
what?
issue is the Time Tunnel, I believe.
Time Tunnel. That's interesting.
I think their only issue, and I talked to the owner about this, is the amount of rent they have to pay. They have to move a couple times already. But the stuff they have in there was really cool. They have these giant cages. They're like 10-foot cages. And it's all like vintage. Like they have like action figures. Like
Time Tunnel toys.
Yeah. And they do like the whole toy. Like the lady that runs it does like a toy convention because I used to do toy shows. I didn't really do the booths or anything, but I used to go to them a lot. And then she runs that whole thing twice a year. So she's really, really into the San Jose market. So I liked her store a lot. It's just because I've been to a couple consignment stores and some of them are kind of grungy, really nicely done, even though they have a ton of stuff. But
yeah,
really
my store is like a reverse store. So we have a nice lobby. You can have a beverage, a coffee, a beer, sit down, bring your stuff in, hang out for a second, tell us your story, do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. There is your stuff we kind of pick out what we can buy, hang out. You can hang out or not. Like we might have to store the stuff for a sec to really figure out what it is. You know, it just depends on what it is. We have a way to do all of that. We have an inventory process and a sales process for everything that walks in the door. Now, if you walk into the shop, you know, you could totally sit down with a tablet and look through the inventory, and if somebody's working there, they'll help you. They'll help you buy something. But you can't touch the inventory, per se. It's not a public inventory. So it's this I don't know how to explain it because it doesn't exist, maybe. Does it exist somewhere? I call it reverse retail. I don't know.
it's
kind of like a mush of an Amazon /storefront / everything.
Didn't they have those? They had like that eBay stores back in the day, like 10, 15 years ago.
They had I sold it on eBay.
But I don't think you could you couldn't take stuff in there, could you, to like sell? I don't think so.
It wasn't nice, and nobody knew what eBay was, and nobody cared.
Right.
And nobody still.
I never went to one.
People care about money. They don't care about eBay. They don't want to go to a place called I sold it on eBay. They want to walk in the door and figure out how to get cash for the things that they want. I mean,
yeah.
So that was kind of a strip mall model that didn't really integrate inventory processing well. It didn't have enough space to really buy the things. There was one in Tualatin, Oregon here. It was in that movie. What was that movie?
That's where I saw it.
Yeah, the 40-year-old.
Yeah.
That's not a joke. It's not a joke. That was a real company.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, there wasn't enough like metadata. There wasn't enough oomph, and they weren't in the right places. So the shop that I'm in is like surrounded by antique shops. and it's in the middle of a neighborhood where there's 4,000 houses above $700,000.
Wow.
Nice.
So hopefully I can get them to come into my shop a couple times.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I need them to I need to do $4,000 extra a month in sales to kind of like break even on not doing it for my basement anymore. But I think the potential to do much, much more than that is there, just based on what I know.
So how big, if you don't mind me asking, how big is your warehouse going to be that you're renting?
So it's weird. It's not. You gotta look me up on Instagram and look at some of the videos. It's a warehouse, but it's not. It's a shop and a warehouse at the same time, and it has like I have like basically 1,400 square feet above the ground, but then I have another 500 square feet in a unfinished basement that I would need to do some partial finishing to, but I could store anything that was like furniture, industrial, or large items. Or, it's like it would be good for it wouldn't be good for like clothing or anything that could be possibly damaged by humidity or something like over a period of time. But there's a huge space under the building. It'd be great for bicycles or anything motorized or that kind of stuff. But it's really in a unique place. The walking score of the building is like 97, meaning like it has the best walking score that you can possibly. I don't think there is a walking score of 100. So the guy was real secretive. He didn't want to put it on like the internet. I made a call to a realtor and he was like, I have a guy, he has something to rent, he doesn't want to put it up on the public market, he's kind of an older guy, do you want to see it? I went and looked at it and I was like, what the fart pickles? Like, it's so mysterious. Like, you walk through this, you're on the main street of this part of Portland called Sellwood. You walk through this crazy tunnel, and then behind the tunnel there's a house that was built in like the 1920s.
Huh.
Yeah, and then that house is both the warehouse and the office. So, yeah, I don't know. I kind of had to get out of my house in a certain way, and I also wanted to be able to grow my inventory at the same time. So.
Is it close to you?
It takes me 15 minutes to drive there.
Okay, so it's not going to be like an inconvenience.
No. And it's a really nice place. Like, let's say I had to work late, my wife could come and meet me with my kid, and we, there's all kinds of like really amazing, like locally owned like restaurants there and all that kind of stuff. So
that's
there's a lot of amenities that are pretty awesome. What's up?
Yeah, I was just saying that there's stuff for you guys to do. That's cool.
Yeah,
I mean, you'll be at work, and it's not like
it's gonna change the way I have to work, which I'm not completely. I don't think I'm completely ready for, but I also don't expect to have regular hours. Like, I'm gonna try to figure out how to weasel my way into like having the least amount of open hours as possible. So what I'll probably do is have people there working for certain hours, in processing inventory that's coming in anyway, doing orders, kind of busy with things that need to happen with the business. And then those people would maybe attend to anybody who comes in, but I don't expect that to happen for a while.
Yeah.
So, and also, I really don't want anybody buying anything. Except me at this point.
Do you have people that work for you now, or?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
They're very competent.
That's cool. Yeah, that helps. You can kind of entrust them with some of your business and not feel like you're making a mistake.
Yeah, one of them understands pricing more than the other, and one of them is a more diligent worker than the other. So as a team, like, it would be really good because they're in a similar age, but their minds, though they're good at the same tasks that they do, they approach them in such different manners.
That's good.
Yeah. Anyway, that was me rambling about myself for a while.
No, I mean, that's interesting because I don't know you, so it's good to like kind of see where you're at. That's interesting. So.
Yeah, I'm new, even though I'm not new to reselling. I've been reselling pretty seriously on and off for the last 15 years. And, I've made my full income many of those years from reselling.
Mhm.
There were some things about life that I didn't understand before last year, maybe. And I've kind of brought those things to my business. And it's really made things just much different. Just an understanding of how money works, how money flows, how time works, how time flows. And it sounds very like esoteric, but it's really simple and it's really true. Time
It
is
is.
everything.
Oh yeah.
But
Yep.
you can get really efficient. I'm sure like you guys are when I do this show, I usually, and I'll go back to screen sharing here as we talk, but so kind of one of the points of this show is the guests tell a story. And since we didn't have like a guest tonight, if you'd like to, Mo, tell a reselling story or a story from life, would you like to do that?
I could, let me see, a reselling story or
Or a life story, just an interesting story,
life
something
story.
that's happened to you in your life. I'm going to go back.
I can tell a cool shipping story.
Okay,
Is
cool. Hold on one second.
The first thing, I think it's hilarious that people find shipping. This is the only industry in the world that finds shipping interesting. For years, everyone hated my stories, but I guess the only cool thing that I ever really shipped was a prototype, a robotic arm, and we weren't actually able to touch it or see it. Stanford University to Columbia University. Spent 6 months just bidding on this thing. And after that, we were only able to get into the office that was like, and this thing was like, I'm not exactly sure exactly what it even did. I had to send a team in there to crate it and ship it all the way across the Columbia University. So that's yeah.
Columbia University. Where did it come from?
Stanford University. We were sitting in an office next to it. We weren't allowed to get near it. We had to get security clearance just to get into the office that was next to it after we bid on the project. And then all this, yeah. And then all this just to send a couple guys in to make a wooden box to go around this thing so it goes across the country. And that's it. I still don't know what it was for. It was worth close to $500,000.
It was probably a Demogorgon.
Who knows? But yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. It was annoying at the end, but
it was annoying at the end. What do you mean?
Well, because basically they didn't really let us even see it or touch it. Send the crate in there, and they kind of assembled it on wheels.
Like what's in it or something? What are you gonna do? It was probably a satellite.
Yeah, well, I've shipped drones before, like big ones, like old ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the most hush-hush secretive thing I've ever seen. Because we've shipped a lot of like celebrities' supposed houses or whatever.
Like stuff.
Yeah, and it's not actually a really big deal at all. It's just like shipping anybody else.
Let's say you have like a thermonuclear, some kind of crazy like fusion machine or something, and like it's like you have to get it from place A to place B. It seems like you would like hire people among yourselves. Like you're like, dude, you're the scientist.
Well, we have been asked before this. Yeah, we were asked before to ship like certain weapons, and a lot of them you can't do. You have to have it. It goes from a range to a range, or
yeah, I mean, you can't transport certain things, but if you don't know that you're transporting it, well, then what are you going to do there?
Yeah,
you must have to have some information on the bill of lading about what it is, or some kind
of robotic arm.
What's up?
It said prototype robotic arm.
Oh,
prototype robotic arm.
Yeah, it was probably for space travel, or to put stuff in people's butts,
or for a robot, or the next.
I saw the top of it, kind of. That was about it.
It just said "sex machine" on it. That's all.
I wouldn't be surprised.
No, if one of the universities sent like a giant petrified turd to the other one, it cost like $100,000.
I mean, you'd be surprised at stuff people ship. We shipped. I felt this was really, really sad. There was a lady that came in. She was crying on the phone because her dog passed away. She was in Florida, something like that. So to ship it back home to the Bay Area, her idea was they wanted to first and ship it back that way.
Your internet is terrible.
Did you get any of that?
I could barely hear that.
Yeah, I couldn't hear much of it. I know that her dog died and that she wanted to ship it.
You wanted to ship a
Yes,
dead dog?
Basically her stuffed dog. She wanted to ship that back home.
Ugh.
And I didn't know what to say. She was so sad and everything, crying on the phone. But she did it though.
Whoa,
So.
that's weird. She did it though.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure like things that you've never, I mean, things that you would never imagine came through boxes in the most the most obvious places. I mean, anybody who's worked at any shipping store has probably held dozens of kilos of cocaine, which would be like hundreds of thousands of dollars in their hands.
Oh yeah, I would not be surprised. I mean, there's a guy that would ship
stuff like that. They're going to use like some kind of third party like that, most likely.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, does our other guest have a story she'd like to tell?
Not really like off the top of my head. I'm sure I could go into like some rabbit holes, upon trigger, but yeah, not like off the top of my head.
Okay. I like integrating stories as kind of like a part of the show. I told a story about being attacked by a raccoon at an estate sale, which really did happen. There's what was it? The story I was going to tell? Let me see if I remember this properly. It involves like falling into like a bayou, basically. So I went to the estate sale of this kind of family, and they were wealthy, but they were like old Southern money. I'm gonna take this off the screen share, and this is like really crazy. It's really, I'm from New Orleans originally, and this happened in New Orleans. So let me try to unscreen share here real quick. Pardon me. Your screen sharing. Stop. Perfect. So this family was very well-to-do, but they were only well-to-do recently, it seemed like, or they just like were old money. They owned tons of land. They had a big mansion out in this property, but on the mansion there were several outbuildings where other people had lived in the past. They kind of homesteaded this stuff. They were there from the early 1800s or late 1700s. And I asked if I could like explore. It was a cold winter day. And I asked if I could go explore kind of the backside of the property that went back to this river, which is more like a bayou. And some of the parts you can't access in a boat, and this was on one of them. So you have like some kind of sandbars and some berms and stuff, and you'll get kind of up these bayous, and you're never going to see that part of that bayou unless you kind of walk down to the water. So walk down the water, there's like an old house, and it's full of all kinds of crazy stuff, like Japanese glass fishing floats and all kinds of stuff. Some stuff I would have definitely wanted to buy now, but then I really didn't know about this stuff. So I walk out on this dock, and the dock seems like okay, pretty sturdy. And there's some lines, some like fishing lines that they had put out, and like I start pulling this line in. I have no idea why. I'm sitting at the end of this dock. It's almost dusk. I'm far on the backside of this property. I'm serious, they probably have 1,000 acres. like seriously 1,000 acres on this bayou. So, you know, it's quite a trek back there. So I'm in this little house looking off at all these weird things that are in this house. Like, God knows how the hell they even got there. I'm on this dock, and I start pulling up this cord, and there's like a catfish on the line. So I'm pulling this thing up. It starts pulling. I'm pulling up. I'm like, working on that, and the entire dock does this.
Oh my gosh.
Right into the water, and like it's pretty cold outside, and I'm like, holy shit, there's like the pieces of the dock around me. I'm like wrapped in. I'm like trying to get out of this dock. I put my feet down, and it's just like the thickest mud you could ever imagine. Like my boots are like stuck in the mud. I can't move. Finally, I get out of there. I get out of there and like get back to my car, and like everyone's gone. There's no one left.
They didn't even care that you were there. They're like, oh well.
They totally left, and I was just like, holy shit! And it was like dark, you know, and there were like owls. I mean, I was like in the middle of nowhere, soaking wet. Didn't buy anything.
Wow.
That doesn't
believe they just
left rival. They just left. I mean, you would think that because there was like a gate and everything, like they just left me there.
Well, good thing you didn't think. You would have been not here, not telling a story.
Good thing what?
You didn't sink.
I totally was sinking. I was like holding on to like pieces of the wood and like trying to.
Like, what if it would have just been like just slightly different, and you would have just been stuck?
I would have died.
Yeah, probably. That's what I'm saying. Like, and they just left you. They're just like, later. I gotta go.
Really got entangled. Imagine a dock structure that's kind of like just a top piece of wood and four timbers with an X on one side, and it just goes and you're on it, and you know it's cracking at the same time. This thing was heavy above the water, you know, so it wasn't like I fell like 5 feet. I fell like 15 feet maybe, or 8, you know, maybe 12 feet. Pretty crazy. I didn't go to any estate sales for a while after. But I've been
on adventure on your own.
I've been in some like crazy kind of situations. It's stuck on you.
That's funny.
Anyway, well, I think I'm going to end the evening. Thanks for popping on and saying hi. Usually I do a little bit longer show, and a little bit tired tonight though. So next time we'll have more of a structure. So the structure kind of goes like this. We have a guest, we communicate with the guest, and we do like an open forum, and then we'll do like questions and talk about a topic. Usually I'll go and start talking about some popular eBay stuff as well. And we'll try to fit kind of business along with current things within the trends that we're looking at. And Kayla doesn't want me to leave. But what time is it? Yeah, it's 10:30. Give me a break. We're going to stop this broadcast now.